Let's bring in Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. Thank you, sir, for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. We really appreciate it. I want to start with getting a reaction to that statement from the White House. What was in it and what was left out? Your thoughts?
Mo, thanks for having me on. They showed absolutely no leadership. And what we need today is we need some boldness, and we need to paint with bold colors and not soft pastels. And Joe Biden, the buck, Molly, at the end of the day stops at his feet. He's the one that said, you know what, we're not going to have Wait Mexico anymore. We're not going to finish the border wall. We're not going to have expedited removal. And that's why these numbers jumped. Under the Obama and Trump administrations, at this point, they had about 2 million illegal encounters on the southern border. Joe Biden has had 10 million. We had never had a month of over 200,000 illegal crossings in 25 years. We've had 28 of them under Joe Biden. So, and this is endemic. It's an epidemic across the country. And it's Joe Biden's fault.
You know, the migrant encounters at the southern border just in May alone, since we're talking about numbers, 170,000 plus total encounters in May alone. And illegal crossings, 117,000. This is the source, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, bringing us these accurate and very recent numbers. And these cases with Jocelyn Nungare, for instance, the most horrific of the horrific that this has occurred. But in addition to that, all across the country, there are states that are having trouble just budgeting for this. It's a financial issue across the country as well. So where should the changes come from? The Biden administration has been putting forth some executive orders and some changes, but where do you think the change should be?
The first and foremost, he should reinstitute Wait Mexico. Every Border Patrol agent that we talk to, from the rank and file all the way to the command sector, says that 70% of the illegal migrants will see a 70% reduction immediately. We should obviously have barriers. We should detain folks that come across the border illegally and not incentivize them. That's what he should be doing. And by the way, Molly, he can do that without congressional authorization. And in Texas, now this is just Texas alone from 2011 to 2024, the Department of Public Safety, we've had 428,000 criminal arrests of criminal aliens, charged with 513,000 crimes, which led to 187,000 convictions. We're talking rape, murder, sexual assault, burglary rather. And this is just in Texas. So you can imagine what it is across the country. Bottom line is, if you're not safe, then you're not free. And under President Trump, I believe Americans were far safer. And that's why I think Joe Biden's going to lose the election in November.
One of the efforts the Biden administration put forth recently is this parole effort, a parole in place effort. Essentially, the goal is to keep mixed families together. So families where one spouse is a citizen and another spouse is not a citizen, and it addresses that effort. Republican senators, though, are arguing that Biden should rescind this immigration executive order, saying, under our administration, the parole authority has been unlawfully used to circumvent screening and vetting mass parole of illegal aliens under the cartel's surge caravans at the border and to circumvent normal refugee processing. These actions undermine the immigration laws Congress has passed, and they have eroded the rule of law at our southern border. Now, there is some backing for this effort underway from the American Immigration Council. They argue that this will help keep families together and help people apply for green cards without actually having to leave the country. Your thoughts on this particular parole in place effort?
Well, Joe Biden just misdirects it. He constantly, what his approach has been is, let's say there's a spigot. He doesn't want to turn off the spigot and the water. He just wants to get more buckets. And what we don't want to do is incentivize more folks to come across the border illegally. There is a process in place in countries around the world to come to the United States legally. In fact, Molly, there's 4 million people waiting in line, patiently, by the way. The average person waits between 9 and 12 years to come to the country legally. So when you have mass unlawful migration, you're allowing people to cut that line. And those good people that are respecting the rules and the laws of the country that they want to become a part of, they have to wait even longer. So what Joe Biden should do is actually enforce immigration law and not try to circumvent it.
Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.